Horror history.
In the early hours of New Year's Day in 2011, Reynaldo Dagsa, a Filipino politician, snapped a photo of his family on the streets of Caloocan. Unbeknownst to him, he also captured the man who would soon end his life. Tragically, Dagsa didn't survive the attack, but his photograph became a crucial piece of evidence that aided the police in apprehending the perpetrator, Arnel Buenaflor. Buenaflor was arrested a few days later. Before European settlers arrived on the North American continent, the bison symbolized the boundless potential of America's westward expansion. At the peak, there were over 30 million buffalo freely roaming the land. However, between 1800 and 1900, this number drastically plummeted to a mere 325. This unsettling historical photograph, captured in 1892 in Michigan, depicts a towering heap of buffalo skulls awaiting processing. These skulls were intended for various purposes such as refining sugar, manufacturing fertilizer, and crafting bone china. Even more disturbing is the realization that the U.S. government sanctioned the deliberate slaughter of buffalo, aimed at depriving Native Americans of this vital natural resource. On December 10, 1945, William Heirens left a chilling note in lipstick on the wall of Frances Brown's Chicago apartment. Tragically, just moments before leaving this message, Heirens mercilessly stabbed Brown to death, leaving a knife protruding from her neck. Heirens earned the moniker the Lipstick Killer and claimed another victim before authorities eventually apprehended him 6 months later. In 1957, when authorities finally apprehended serial killer Ed Gein, they unearthed a disturbing collection of evidence exposing the horrors of his extensive history of grave robbing, murder, necrophilia, and cannibalism. Upon searching Gein's residence in Wisconsin, police discovered a macabre assortment of items crafted from human remains, including furniture and kitchen utensils. They also stumbled upon a dismembered corpse in a shed, a belt constructed from human nipples, and jars filled with organs. Despite Gein's swift institutionalization for the remainder of his life, the unsettling photographs captured within his home continue to send shivers down the spine to this day. During the infamous rape of Nanjing that commenced in December 1937, some of the most horrifying atrocities in Asia before and during World War II unfolded. Over a few weeks, the invading Japanese troops subjected the Chinese city to unspeakable horrors, raping as many as 80,000 individuals and claiming the lives of up to 350,000. Beheadings by katana, depicted here, were routine during this brutal invasion. In a chilling display, 2 Japanese soldiers even engaged in a macabre contest to see who could achieve the gruesome feat of killing 100 people with their swords first, with newspapers reporting on it akin to a sporting event. Before the term post-traumatic stress disorder or war neurosis was coined, veterans of World War I faced mental health challenges largely on their own, without the understanding of the psychological toll that combat could exact. The haunting historical photograph of the shell-shocked soldier depicted here vividly illustrates the harrowing reality of war and the profound impact of enduring the Battle of Flers-Courcelette from within the trenches. Captured in September 1916, this image predates the conclusion of World War I. As the conflict dragged on, countless other soldiers would experience similar traumatic ordeals. In 1647, laborers toiling on a cathedral in Venzone, Italy stumbled upon the uncannily preserved remains of a man inside a tomb within the churchyard. Despite the passage of time, his body had desiccated and shrunk into a mere 33 pounds, leaving his skin resembling parchment, yet remarkably, he had not undergone decomposition. As additional corpses with similar preservation emerged over subsequent decades and centuries, both locals and experts found themselves puzzled by the natural mummification process. The mystery persisted for many years, with early 20th century beliefs attributing the phenomenon to a specific fungus, while more contemporary theories proposed that the unique soil and water conditions in the area may hold the key. Nevertheless, the mummies of Venzone continue to evoke curiosity and intrigue to this day. During the late 19th century, it was common for medical students to be photographed alongside their deceased subjects. According to John Harley Warner and James M. Edmondson in their work Dissection, Photographs of a Rite of Passage in American Medicine 1880 to 1930, this practice represented a significant social, moral, and emotional boundary crossing. The inscription on the table in this photograph expressed the student's aspiration to switch places with the cadavers and have them pose with him. The exact method by which he arranged the cadavers before capturing the photo remains somewhat enigmatic. Taken on the morning of August 3, 1952, this unsettling photograph seemingly captures 4 unidentified flying objects traversing the skies above Salem, Massachusetts. The photographer, known as Shell Alpert, snapped the image at Salem's Coast Guard Air Station, with the objects sighted near the Winter Island and Cat Cove areas. Despite these details, the origins of this peculiar image remain largely shrouded in mystery. Speculation abounds regarding the nature of the lights captured in the photo. While some suggest they may be mere reflections in the window from which the picture was taken, others reference similar sightings reported throughout the 1950s. However, the true explanation behind the phenomenon is likely to elude us indefinitely. When Soviet cosmonaut Vladimir Komarov received the assignment to pilot the Soyuz 1 mission scheduled for April 23, 1967, he understood his fate was sealed. The spacecraft had exhibited serious issues during testing, indicating that whoever boarded it would not return alive. Despite the evident dangers, no one was willing to withdraw from the mission and risk disappointing the Soviet high command. Even Komarov himself refused to step back, knowing that doing so would condemn his friend and fellow cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin, who was next in line. As predicted, during re-entry, the craft's parachute malfunctioned, leading to Komarov's tragic demise as the Soyuz hurtled through the atmosphere at incredible speeds. With this, Komarov became the first human to perish in spaceflight. Prior to his ill-fated mission, he had been so convinced of his impending death that he requested an open casket funeral, depicted above, hoping to compel his superiors to confront the consequences of their actions. To this day, this unsettling historical photograph of his remains serves as a poignant reminder of his untimely end. This 1883 mugshot captures Pete Spence, the sole known photograph of this notorious Old West outlaw who spread terror throughout Arizona in partnership with the infamous Frank and Tom McClory. Spence, already renowned as a thief, found himself under suspicion for the 1882 murder of Morgan Earp, brother of the legendary lawman Wyatt Earp. Despite his wife's testimony claiming she overheard Spence planning the murder with acquaintances, the judge deemed it inadmissible due to spousal privilege. Nevertheless, Spence's criminal activities persisted. A year later, he faced arrest for fatally pistol-whipping a man. Despite receiving a 5-year sentence, Spence served just 18 months before being pardoned by the governor. If you enjoyed uncovering these eerie and thrilling mysteries, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll get access to more captivating content just like this, filled with haunting tales and chilling discoveries.